Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good evening, all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 20 plus years of experience in different technologies like big data, Hadoop, Spark, PySpark, and this Azure data engineering. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
Yes, sir. Your voice is clear.
Yeah. So as part of today's demo, why data engineer required, just why data engineer? Previously, if you go back, right, we have got a ETL developer, we used to say, but if you go back like 10 to 15 years back, right, we won't see any data engineer concept. We have got ETL developer. And what is the role of a data engineer? Currently, what is the role of a data engineer and how he is different from a ETL developer? Role of a data engineer. And generally, people ask the difference between this data engineer with the data analyst and with the data scientist. Data engineer, right? Data scientist, data analyst. So what are the various data engineering products or services? Azure data, I'm talking, we are using that cloud, Azure cloud, Azure data engineering products or services. Just I'll be giving overview about the products or services that are used for data engineering. Right. Job market of Azure data engineer, today's job market. This is what I'll be discussing, right? So first, talking about this cloud, right? Yes. Generally, cloud is majorly utilized. We talk majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, delivering data, right? Yes, in various form. Major utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various form, right? So if we observe the difference or the advantage of cloud over this on-premises. Advantage of cloud over on-premises. In the case of on-premises, if I talk about on-premises, everything we need to perform. For example, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. We need to set up our own hardware infrastructure, right? On top of that, OS installation, purchasing database license, installation of database server. Yes, we need to perform all this, designing and finally designing database objects. Designing database objects. So we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing of database license, installation of database server, and designing database objects. Again, to maintain all this, to maintain all this, we require separate teams. We require separate teams. Right. Hardware team is required. operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators, but here everything in the cloud, everything in the cloud premises. We no need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure. You no need to maintain any license. Everything in the cloud environment, right? Okay. So data engineers, if I talk data engineers, so here data engineer means everything deals with the data. Everything deals with the data. What is means data has got experience. Data has got future reference. Understand? Data has got future reference. So what a data engineer does, a data scientist using this data, it has got experience, it has got future reference. Using this data, we perform analysis, predictions, clustering, recommendations. So in this way, different things we can perform on this. So, and also with this cloud services, data engineer with the help of with the help of cloud services, with the help of cloud services, work on the data. They work on the data and make it structured and useful. Make it structured and useful. See, the major work of data engineers responsible for smooth data flow, right? From source to destination, from source to destination, right? Yes. Data engineer responsible for mm, so you need to work with all kind of data. You need to work with all kind. Data engineer have to work with all as a typical uh, ETL developer. Here, data engineer has to work with structured data, semi-structured, unstructured, streaming data, NoSQL data, right? In with all kind of data he has to handle. But if we see that ETL developer, he was mostly working with structured data, but data engineer with all kind of data, semi-structured, structured, unstructured, streaming, and NoSQL. So data engineer responsible for preparing the data is responsible for preparing the data, pulling data from different sources and preparing data and also filtering the data as per the requirement, filtering the data or cleansing data we say, or transforming the data as per the requirement, transforming the data and processing data. If you talk the difference between this data engineer with the data scientist or analyst in a single word, data scientist. If I take data scientist and here if I take data analyst, data scientist in a single word is going strategizes for the future, and data analyst summarizes past. In a simple way, strategizes for the future, data analyst summarizes the past. Okay, they will be analyzing the data. Here, data scientist is going to analyze the data. He's going to identify the key patterns. He identifies the key patterns, recommendations for the future, recommendations for the future. Now, data analyst on the other side summarizes the data of the past. He is also going to analyze the data and visualizing the data, summarize the data and visualizing the data. He also analyze the data. So data scientist, apart from this, he has got a lot of other roles, right? Other responsibilities like data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data recommendations, pattern matchings. For all these things, he is responsible. But if we talk for the data scientist and for data analyst, for the pre-processing, all these things, right? The data, bringing the data from different sources, filtering, processing, right? So data engineer does all the groundwork, does all the groundwork. For data scientist and analyst. I can say more than 70% of data analysis work is done by data engineers. Data engineers involves like data management, and data management means data storage and data processing. What data engineering involves? Data engineering involves, for example, what are the sources of the data? What are the sources of the data? From where I need to bring the data from? And what is the format of the data? In what format it has to be? How to transform the data? What is the destination of the data? Target. Okay, what are the sources from where I need to bring the data from? What is the format of the data? How to transform it? And what is the destination of the data? Now, there is the difference between this data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. Now, why Azure data engineer is in demand today? Why Azure data engineer required? Why Azure data engineer? And why Azure data engineer is in demand today, right? For example, check this. If you take any organization, yeah, Devasri, like any query you got, Devasri, Das.
Yes, sir. So I had one question. In today's structure, what is the famous, not famous, what is the uh, most famous cloud going on?
So I can say like Azure and GCP.
Azure and GCP. What
Yes.
about AWS cloud?
See, it depends, right? I mean, see, most of the time today, like Azure is mostly preferred, right? Azure is cheapest among all, and mostly like even the students, even if you see the organizations asking for Azure data
Mhm.
engineers. Previously, AWS data engineers was mostly preferred. We go back previously now, but Azure data engineering is mostly preferred. That's why even we are running more batches for Azure data engineering as compared with AWS or GCP.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you. Yes.
So here, if you talk any organization, it wants to increase the business revenue by utilizing the customer behavioral data on its website. The organization using Azure for its operations, so it hires two people. Organization hiring two people. One is Azure data engineer. Secondly, a data scientist. Azure Data Engineering and a data scientist. Azure Data Engineer, what is the work of Azure Data Engineer? First, he is going to create a data warehouse. He is going to create a data warehouse for the organization. What is data warehouse? It's the storage of structured and queryable data, right? It contains data from various resources such as the new user logs, existing customers data, clicks, the user clicks, and data engineer is going to structure this data, stores it and monitors it in the data warehouse. Secondly, data engineer is going to communicate with the data scientist. Data engineer creates the data warehouse for the organization. I said means it's a storage of structured and queryable data. Yes. Data engineer structures the data and stores it and monitors it in the data warehouse. Secondly, data engineer is responsible in communicating with the data scientist to understand the data requirement. He also communicates with the business requirement. He also need to communicate with the business to know the business requirement of the organization. Right. He has to keep in mind the business needs while dealing with the data in the hand. Right. Data scientist is going to analyze and create some insights from the processed data. So data scientist later, whatever that processed data of the data engineer, which is going to create some insights. Data engineer keeps on means processing, analyzing, and monitoring the data. He's going to create some data pipelines. Is going to create some data pipelines through which the data is going to be integrated with all the crucial stages of this data flow. And he also, this data engineer, make sure that the pipeline is secure and is efficient. This is the primary role of a data engineer, right? Apart from this, if we see role of Azure data engineer, right? Role of a Azure data engineer. Role of Azure data engineer. Yes. Yes. Designing the entire data flow architecture. Secondly, creating a data warehouse, creating data warehouse for storage of structural, for storage of analytical data. And thirdly, ETL, performing ETL, extracting, transforming, and loading, right? ETL, right? It is one of the key tasks of data engineer. He need to extract data from different sources. He need to pull the data from different branches, from multiple resources, transform it into structured format, and also you need to load the data into this company's storage service for further evaluation or business evaluation by the data scientist. And also like data monitoring, even like data monitoring, right? Yes. The data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way and data is available everywhere and anywhere where it's required, right? Data security, right? Yes. This is one of the major responsibility of data engineers. The data need to be secure at each step of the process without any data leaks or data exposures, Collaborating and communication, right, with this business team and also with the data scientist. Collaboration and communication, right? Yes. He should constantly communicate with the business team to check that the team data needs and also with the data scientist to deliver the data as per the requirement. They need to have some analytics, right? Yes. Data engineers, they analyze the data and transform the data into structured and useful format. They need to have some strong analytical skills to perform this kind of analysis. Automation. Certain things need to be automated, such as extraction, data extraction process, right? Yes. So this is just role of main role is performing ETL, creating data warehouse, and maintaining, monitoring the data and data security, collaborating, communicating with the business team and data scientist. Need to have some analytics knowledge, like to perform some kind of analysis, and certain things you need to automate. Yes. Azure Data Engineering products or services. That what are the main Azure Data Engineering products or services? Azure Data Engineering products or services. Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, ADF, Azure Databricks, ADB, Azure Streaming, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Key Vault, Azure Key Vault, Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Streaming, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Key Vault. Yes. So I'll just give overview about this, like Azure SQL in a simple way. Say Cloud RDBMS, Azure SQL, right? Yes. Cloud RDBMS database. It's a Cloud RDBMS database of Microsoft, right? In Azure. It is for OLTP operations, right? It's like capturing end user transactions. Secondly, like Azure Data Lake. See, Azure SQL, like storing data in the form of tables, and Azure Data Lake storing data in the form of files. Like I can say some distributed file system. Azure Data Lake, we say Azure Data Lake storage, we say ADLS, we say Azure Data Lake storage. So I can say like distributed file system with unlimited data storage, with unlimited data storage in cloud. That is data lake. Distributed file system with unlimited data storage, that is in cloud, that is data lake. Can say like Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse Analytics. For data warehouse operations, for data warehouse operations, for big data operations, For parallel processing, for batch applications, online applications or batch applications. Online applications means user interactive applications. Whenever you give a request, you get response. That is online applications. Batch application is not like it is not like request response architecture. Millions and trillions of records are involved here, but online transaction, a single transaction or two transactions. There user gives the input. Here user no way required. Here millions and trillions of records. Azure Data Factory. In a simple way, like we got many ETL tools available previously, like Informatica, Data Stage, Talent, right? They all are on premises, but I want a ETL on cloud. I want a ETL on cloud. There is nothing but Data Factory. So like in a simple way, it is a cloud. It is a cloud ETL or cloud-based ETL, cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure. So it is like a data integration service from OLTP to data warehouse. It is going to take the data. It is pulls the data. It's going to extract the data from these OLTP systems and dumps into this data warehouse systems, right? Later I discuss in brief. It's just cloud-based ETL. Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks. ADB. I can say it is a Apache Spark based data analytics. It is Apache Spark based data analytics platform. So Spark is a very high speed data processing execution model. It is going to execute at a very high rate of speed, means huge data processing at a quick time, right? For that we use Spark. So it's a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. Azure Streaming. Analyzing and processing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources. Analyzing and processing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously. What do you mean by streaming data? Data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing. Such data we call it as streaming data. Capturing such kind of data from multiple sources, that too simultaneously. Azure Cosmos DB, just like MongoDB, a kind of NoSQL database. Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB. Azure cloud-based NoSQL database. So NoSQL database, not only SQL. NoSQL is nothing but not only SQL. SQL, if you see in SQL database, structured from first record to last record, same number of fields to be maintained. But in case of NoSQL, record to record, different number of fields can be maintained. Schemaless behavior. My first record with 3 fields, second record with 5 fields, third record with 7 fields, fourth record with 10 fields. Record to record, any number of fields can be maintained. That is what schemaless behavior. But in case of SQL, schema compulsory and Azure Key Vault. . in a simple way to protect data in the cloud. To protect the data in the cloud, right? Yes. Some secrets like passwords will be used, some keys and passwords, secrets will be protecting the data. So these are the data engineering products or services. So mainly like Azure Data Factory, Databricks, Synapse. So Azure SQL, it's a RDBMS, cloud-based RDBMS. Data Lake, it's a kind of file system storing data in the form of files. Synapse for data warehouse operations, Data Factory like ETL, Cloud ETL, Databricks, data analytics using Spark, and streaming, capturing streaming data from multiple sources. Cosmos DB is like NoSQL database, protecting data in the cloud. Key vault. So here, Azure Data Engineering. ADA in this course, right? First, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory area will be discussed here. Zero coding ETL it is. No coding is involved. Everything is drag and drop. Yes. No prerequisites for it. Anyone can update with it. Azure Data Factory. If you want to step into the company, even you can go as a Azure Data Factory developer. Next, Azure Databricks. See, along with Azure Data Factory, you will be learning about this Azure Databricks. Here, Azure ADF, Azure Data Factory is code free, but this is Azure Databricks is code based. Yes, here you will have some code, right? In Python codes, you write. And along with, so totally I'll be discussing about PySpark in brief. PySpark, total PySpark I'll be discussing in brief in this. And apart from this, one more single stop solution for all this, like Azure Synapse Analytics. Apart from this, you'll also get knowledge on this Azure SQL, products on this Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake. It is like a kind of staging area in your projects. Azure Data Lake, storing data, working with different types of files like JSON, CSV, Parquet files, Avro files, right? Data Lake storage, Azure Data Lake storage. ADLS we say, we have that too in Gen 2, generation 2. And Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake storage. And also you'll be saying like Azure streaming. You'll be so majorly our discussion will be Azure Data Factory, Databricks, PySpark, and Azure Synapse Analytics, right? You can see the course content if you observe this course content of this, right? Starting with the overview about all these things and Azure Data Factory, everything will be drag and drop, 100% drag and drop. Even you won't write any kind of scripts, SQL scripts also you won't write. So data factory architecture, data factory portal UI, top level components, pipelines, activities, link services, data sets, triggers, pipelines, debugging pipeline, publishing pipelines, parameter pipelines, organizing pipelines, creating new pipelines, right? So as the area of developer, you'll be keep on creating pipelines. Within the pipelines, you just embed some activities. Activities will be working with data like data extraction, data filtering, data transformations, data merging, right? All these things. Linker service, if you want to get connect with any of these systems, right? Either it is on-premise or cloud premise or other cloud, right? Compulsory linker service. Data sets means here you cannot work with the data object, but here we will be using some aliases called data sets. Activities, right? Different types of activities. Copy data activity, get metadata activity, filter activity, for each if condition switch until triggers scheduling data, right? Scheduling this pipelines, tumbling window, storage event, custom events, integration runtime. So if Azure to Azure, we'll be using auto integration runtime. If from other environments on that is on premises to Azure or Other cloud to Azure, we go with the self-hosted and source control ARM templates, how to copy the entire resources from one environment to other environments. And data flows, we have got in ADF version 2, we have got the concept of data flows, inbuilt transformations. In previous version, we doesn't have that inbuilt transformation. Now we've got inbuilt where you can perform the things, everything drag and drop. And around 50 exercises we'll be discussing in brief. These are all the exercises that we'll be discussing in ADF. And Databricks, before I go with Databricks, you'll be given introduction to this big data, Hadoop and Spark. Right, and coming to this Databricks architecture and Databricks workspace in Azure portal, adding users and groups to that, creating a cluster, starting with the notebooks, creating and configuring clusters, managing clusters, and Databricks utilities, credential utility, data utility, file system, job utility, notebook utility, Databricks integration with the different storages like Synapse, Snowflake, SQL database, Azure Data Lake, right, and blob storage. Databricks handling multiple file formats like working with CSV, JSON, Parquet, Excel, XML, ORC, Avro files. Databricks streaming API handling bad records, streaming data into Gen 2, load the data. Databricks Lakehouse, features of Delta Lake, how DML operations in Delta Lake, handling SCD type 1, type 2, workflows in Databricks, introduction to this workflows, and Azure Synapse Analytics in brief, right? So SQL pools, dedicated pools, Spark pools, Synapse triggers, deep dive into copy activity, data flow introductions, and Spark pool introductions, right? These things. So the offerings from my side, right? You'll be getting each and every session video, each and every the session is recorded. You'll be getting the recorded session. Video recorded session. Even if you miss any session, right? Live session, you can go through that video and you can just attend the next session for the better understanding. Soft copy of the class notes. Soft copy of this class notes, right? And assignments and tasks to work. Video recorded session, soft copy of this class notes, assignments as tasks, right? And a WhatsApp group where I can have direct interaction with the students, right? Where I'll be creating the WhatsApp group where you can interact. If you got any error, you can take the snap of it and post in that WhatsApp group. And live interactive, you will be kept in unmuted status. Anytime you can unmute and you can ask the query during the session. And anyhow, whenever we perform any task, people will be responding what will be the output of the statement that we write. Live interactive and hands-on sessions means even hands-on sessions, right? You can do parallelly along with me. The practical parts are the task what we do. You can do parallelly along with me. If any error, you can be sharing the screens. Resumes and interview questions. All right. Yes. Tomorrow also people can attend the session same time at 6 o'clock, sorry, 7 o'clock using the same link. So the timings, let me make it clear about the timings, right? Once again, before you go with the payment process. So tomorrow also you can attend the session. It's a free session. Demo sessions like first 3 sessions, demo sessions, right? Yes. At 7 p.m. it will be. But regular sessions after the first 3 sessions, right? Regular sessions. It will start at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. is your batch timing. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be your batch timing. Only the demos, like first 2 or 3 demos, whatever we will be at 7 p.m. Right? Tomorrow also it will be at 7 p.m. only, but regular sessions mostly from next will be starting at 6 p.m. Any queries you got, you can unmute and you can give your, you can
Sir,
ask
sir,
your.
I want to discuss one thing. Like,
What is it?
Uh, can I talk separately with you, like on your mobile or after this match?
Okay, okay, you can. Okay. Any other queries, right? Yes, anyone?
Yeah, initially I heard people are going for Microsoft Fabric training also, so like a basic of that one.
Yes, I'll also be giving knowledge on this Microsoft Fabric.
Yeah, nowadays this data engineering certification also they just closed that one. Instead of that one, they're asking DP700 as a Microsoft Fabric certification only. They are just providing. Uh, what is the key difference over there? Will you provide any separately Microsoft Fabric training apart of all those things?
No. As majorly our discussion will be these things.
Okay,
Apart from that, introduction to these fabrics will be given.
that's all. Uh-huh. Okay,
Major discussions, right? Azure Data Factory, Databricks, PySpark, especially PySpark, right? It is the main execution engine in all this Azure Data Factory, Databricks, and Synapse. PySpark
okay,
is the main execution. Even if you've got a lot of jobs on PySpark, directly you can check PySpark jobs. If you've got a lot of jobs, if you have got good knowledge, command on this PySpark. Yes.
fine, fine, fine.
So,
Thank you.
so not like other training sites, here we'll be discussing in brief on this PySpark, entire PySpark will be discussing, not like overview. So I already
Okay,
mentioned here that knowledge of that big data analytics, big data, Hadoop, and Spark in brief. So
okay,
at the back end in ADF also, as you are not writing any code, everything will be drag and drop, but at the back end, PySpark is the main execution engine,
hmm.
right? And here in Databricks, anyhow, you'll be writing code, right? Here it's
Either whether we are using SQL in PySpark or Python, which one user using for here?
Python, right?
That,
Python is, I'll be showing you in all that, what are the syntaxes using SQL, using Python, everything I'll be providing.
okay, sure, sure, sure.
If you are creating tables, right, using SQL syntax, using Python syntax, how we can do it, multiple ways of performing the tasks. But
Fine.
you need to have some basic Python knowledge, basic SQL knowledge for these things, right?
Yes, yes. Already we are working as a data analyst, which are using Power BI and SQL in most of our day-to-day work, and I need to enhance my skills. So I just came to this demo session to know what is going on there.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. Thank you, thank you.
So
Uh,
yeah, go ahead.
I also have a question. So, what is the
Yes.
prerequisite here? A person should know proper Python and OOPS and.
Oops, all those not required. We're not building any web applications here, right? So it's only for
Okay.
batch applications. We are also just basic Python. Just before I go with Azure Databricks PySpark, just I'll be briefing you about the syntaxes of Python. They look like normal English statements only, not very complex statements. Python.
Mhm.
Basic
Now,
Python,
what about SQL?
basic Python and basic SQL. Just
Okay.
basic SQL, like creating, inserting, deleting this, dropping tables. That syntax is enough. But anyhow, we'll be using the PySpark functionalities are there. Many PySpark inbuilt functionalities are there. We'll be directly using it for performing these operations. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And even
Uh,
if students who doesn't have knowledge on this MySQL, some MySQL videos will be forwarded, right? As given by this DURGASOFT said, there'll be around 30-35 videos of MySQL videos will be forwarded. You'll be having free access to it. And also like basic Python videos also will be provided where you can have just before we, because we'll be starting with ADF, which doesn't require any prerequisites. By the time it takes like 25 to 30 days to complete this, right? Meanwhile, you can just
mhm.
update with those things, right? Basic Python, basic SQL, the basic videos will be provided to you. Will be given the access, you can go through that. And before I start also, just I'll give a brush up on all that Python related syntaxes, right?
The lecture timing will be 6 to how much?
6 to 7, 1 hour.
6 to 7. Okay, 1 hour. And daily? Is it daily?
Daily it is. It's not it's a weekday batch. So Monday to Friday it will be. Sometimes on Saturdays I'll be taking, but not all. Monday to Friday is the timing of it.
Okay.
6 to 7, is it morning or in the evening?
Even same time, 6 to 7 in the evening.
Okay. Yeah.
6 to 7 in the evening. And in brief, in depth, we will be discussing. The course goes around 2.5 to 3 months. Because
Do we have any
the
morning slot?
morning slot as of now, no.
Okay.
If I may say one thing, actually, I'm a consultant right now. I was earlier SE, software engineer in Java. So I jumped from one tech to another tech. So is this enough? Do we require some other knowledge or other cloud to enter into DE?
No, this is enough, right? Azure Data. See, one thing, even as a ADF developer, you can go as a Databricks developer. If you want to step into the company, right? As a ADF developer, as a Databricks developer, as a PySpark developer, as a data engineer, you can go, right? But if you have got, especially if you have got the packages will be more if you have got if you're adding like PySpark and this Databricks and PySpark, right? You will be having, even if you see people like if you're adding this a good command on this Databricks and PySpark, even if you see the salary packages 1.5 times more than the other technologies, right? So the thing is only
Yes.
you need to have some good technical skills. You need to showcase that technical skills on this. So it's one of the demanding tool, right? It's even the salaries are as close to data scientist.
Yes.
The data engineers, and if you see the average salary is also as close to data scientist, like. So this is one of the demanding technology in this, right?
Yes,
Today's.
yes. That is one point, but my major concern is to enter into DE. So that's the main focus.
Okay.
But because I have, as I said, is there any impact if we have different experiences? So I worked in HCL as a SE, and then there was no, I got laid off. Then I worked
See,
with,
see one thing here from the basic ground level to the advanced level, I'll be discussing, right? Around 3 months we'll be spending time. So a typical 3+ years of experience person, how much knowledge, that much of knowledge you'll be gaining, right?
okay. Oh, I have a 3+ years of experience. Okay, so you're saying that much
So the
knowledge.
whatever the previous experience, okay, they won't check, right, where you in which technology you have worked, but you have got experience or not.
Right, right. Okay, thank you.
Fine. Okay, so tomorrow also at same time at 7 o'clock you can attend using the same link to see more discussion. Today just I have given overview on this services, right? So the main things, these are the main services are the main products that we'll be dealing with. Yes, tomorrow we'll have more discussion, right? Any other queries you got, anyone?
So one question, what if we miss the daily sessions? Do we provide any recordings?
Yes, you will be having the recordings, right? Here I said. So each and every session video recorded. You'll be getting this recorded video that day itself, right? Same day. So whenever the session completes within 2 hours time, you'll be getting the recorded video to your Google Drive. So daily one video will be added to your Google.
Okay. So regular sessions is from 6 to 7 or what's the time?
6 to 7 regular sessions. Only this demo 2 or 3 sessions what we discussed, right, will be at 7 o'clock, but regular sessions will be at 6 to 7. It's fixed timing.
Okay.
And even if you miss the session, you'll daily you'll be getting the recorded video to your Google Drive, and clear notes of what we discussed also with comments you'll be getting, right? And for directly interacting with me, you have got a WhatsApp group also. If you got any error, you can take the snap of that error and you can post me. Anybody in the group can answer, I'll be answering it. And I was saying that it will be good if you are doing the task along with me parallelly. So those once you got that, you for working with this practical part, I recommend you to go with the free subscription, right? Free subscription will no charge will be, so that you can practice. I'll say if you doesn't have the free subscription, how to get the free subscription, Azure free subscription, right? Where all that Azure products you can work with. Okay.
Okay. When is the regular session starting?
So it's a session 1, tomorrow is session 2, it continues session 3, session 4, session 5. But first 2 sessions will be given. Can attend the sessions freely, right? It goes on. Tomorrow is
No,
session
the
2
regular session starts from next week or?
from Monday.
Okay, okay.
Tomorrow also it is continuation to what we have discussed, right? Tomorrow it will be not a repetition or duplication, right? We'll be continuing what we have stopped. And from Monday onwards, we'll be going with the actual things.
Okay.
The lecture recordings of SQL and Python and your live lectures, will it be provided in Google Drive or in DurgaSoft website?
No, you will be getting the access, right? You can get to your Google Drives, you'll be getting it.
Okay, okay. All will be transferred to our Google Drive. Okay.
So that basic Python videos and SQL, MySQL videos, around 30 videos of MySQL, around 30 videos of Python, and also that there is an offer given by DurgaSoft, right? Even people, some Linux videos also around some 100 to 120 videos of Linux shell scripting also will be provided as a free for these people who got enrolled for this, right? These 3 videos worth 5,000 rupees worth videos will be given to you as freely, right? Which are that like MySQL, basic Python, MySQL, and Unix, Linux, right? And shell scripting around 100 videos of it of Mr. Durga, right? This will be given as a free access for 1 year.
If you can also get your number to get into contact, that would be helpful.
So any query you can just go ahead right now itself, or tomorrow also you can ask any query you got. But once you got
Okay.
enrolled, you will be added to the WhatsApp group where I'll be in the WhatsApp where you can directly interact. Right.
Okay.
Fine. So if I'm done with the queries, if there are no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 7 o'clock using the same link. Thank you all for your time.
I'll call you. I'll call you, sir.
Okay, fine.